Positive behavior support does not mean we don't engage in negative consequences for inappropriate behavior. Big mythology. Positive behavior to support doesn't mean that if a kid hits another kid, we go, oh, well, I'm sorry, there's no consequence. I believe in positive behavior support. That would be stupid, wouldn't it? So we also want to have a system in place in a tier 1 intervention to discourage problem behavior. We're not going to ignore problem behavior. The whole staff in a school-wide PBS school has agreed on what kinds of behaviors can be dealt with at the classroom level by the teacher, minor problem behaviors, and what problem behaviors result in what's called an ODR, an office discipline referral, right? And an office discipline referral, all teachers in the school know these behaviors are ODR behaviors, and they result in an office discipline referral, right? And now the teacher checks what the problem behavior was that the student engaged in that results in a referral to the principal, right? Principal gets to be both Santa Claus and, not Santa Claus, right? And the student goes to the office, engages in an interaction that is instructional in nature, right? But not reinforcing, right? This isn't like, let's have a 15-minute one-to-one conversation with the principal about what you should do next time, because for many students that would be attention and would result in more problem behavior, right? But on the other hand, the principal also isn't going to rah to the kid, because that's aversive and that's inappropriate in a school setting. So there are planned instructional consequences that the principal or the vice principal might remember. And the instructional consequences have to do with providing more practice. So the student might be asked to show me 3 or 4 times in a row what the desired behavior is. And the consequences are also designed to prevent an escalation of the problem behavior and minimize reward for problem behavior. And again, what that looks like at a school-wide level is determined entirely by the school. But there is a consequence of some sort for inappropriate behavior. There always has to be. The emphasis is on pro-social behavior and rewarding it. But of course, there's going to be some problem behavior, and we need to have a planned response to that as well on a school-wide basis. We also use data for decision making. That's the last piece of Tier 1 support. So here's an example in a school where there were a lot of office discipline referrals in the playground, right? This is an elementary school. You can see there were some office discipline referrals in the classroom, but a lot more in the playground, and they decided to really focus on that venue. They set up a system of reinforcing appropriate behavior and responding to inappropriate behavior, and the plan was to reteach the expectations at recess. They did a booster session of what are the behaviors we expect students to engage in during recess. They trained the staff again, the supervision staff at recess, on active supervision so that the supervisors weren't just standing around talking to each other. They were taught to scan the environment on a regular basis, move if they saw a problem behavior beginning to occur, and interact to stop the problem behavior. So they had a scan, move, and interact intervention for the playground supervisors, and they implemented what they called the playground challenge. Each class got a link in their chain. Here's kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, so forth and so on. Each class got a link in their chain for each recess period where no one in the class engaged in any problem behavior. And the rule was when your chain reaches the ground, right? When your chain reaches the ground, your whole class will get an extra recess. Okay, no food involved, no, right? But I mean, an extra recess, are you kidding me? right? So it was the race to see and everybody eventually could get an extra recess, right? Notice that it wasn't pitting one class after against each other. Everybody could eventually get it, but some classes got it sooner than others because there were fewer problem behaviors in that classroom. Does that make sense? I mean, it's a lovely visual way of depicting where we're at in terms of our class-wide, appropriate behavior at recess. And here's what the data looked like. Okay? This was easy to do. It's simply a matter of using a golf counter on the playground supervisor's wrist. They were counting the number of problem behaviors in the playground and in the classroom before they did the intervention in October, and the number of problem behaviors in the playground and the classroom, because they did the same thing in the classroom. Each class had a chain in November. And look at the difference, right? The data collection was easy. The data collection was absolutely geared to exactly what they wanted to reduce, and more importantly, the intervention was effective, right? I mean, in a month, to get that kind of reduction, come on. Why would you not do this? Seriously, why would you not do this, right? So that's the tier 1 system, right? 5 pieces: rules, definitions by environment, teach the rules, reinforce appropriate behavior, have consequences for problem behavior, 6 things, and take data and monitor. Is this effective?